Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this month's edition of Centerville Business Today. I'm Mark Kingseed, the mayor here in Centerville, and I am at Fortis College, which is really one of the hidden gems of the Centerville community. And I'm here with Mimi Summers, who is the Director of Compliance. So good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Well, I am delighted to be here. Well, now Fortis College has been located here on Alex Bell Road for a while. I think a lot of people probably drive by it and don't really even think about or know what's in here.
That's true. That's true. Yes, we have been here since January of 1999 at this exact location. And prior to that, we were just across from Centerville High School on West Park Road, where we had two buildings, and that was our facility at that time. But yeah, we've been here since '99.
Well, I know it had been quite a while. I mean, that's interesting. Well, now tell me a little bit. What goes on here at Fortis College?
Well, our school has a number of different programs where we make sure that people who are training for a career have a program to go to where they can get employed, after they finish. And so we have a large nursing program here, but we also have a lot of other programs. We've got a cybersecurity and forensics program that is really up and coming and has a lot of amazing features and a great placement rate.
Well, now tell me a little. I know we want to go through the other programs too, but I know that issue has been pretty hot lately.
It sure has. Yes.
So this would teach folks how to just computer technology and how to avoid or how to stop hackers and that sort of thing.
Right. Well, I mean, cyber attacks are on the rise, and we see that, in the media all the time. And as we start seeing these increases in cyber attacks, we need what we like to call cyber warriors to be able to address those concerns. And I'll tell you, the employability of the graduates in that program is huge. I think it's running probably over 90%. In other words, there's more jobs out there than we could even fill. So it's an exciting program, and the instructors who teach in that are industry leaders. They have certifications and experience decades in those types of areas like mobile security and things like that.
Well, now is that a relatively new field that you've been teaching here?
Yes, I mean, we've had it for a few years. We've had that program for a few years, but like I said, just as events change, we like to adapt our programs to make sure we meet the needs of the hiring community. And that is just one that's really kind of up and coming based on what's going on in the world today.
Well, now in terms of the cybersecurity, how long is that program before someone would be, is it certified, if that's the right term?
They get a degree, they get an associate's degree, and they have a number of certifications that they take. They have to take a couple certifications to graduate, but they are encouraged to take even more certifications to make sure that they've got all the skills that they need, for employment.
Well, how long would it take someone?
It takes them about a year and a half to get through that program.
That's fascinating, because I could see, again, just given the news and what's been going on, that would be something that would be quite an interesting field for someone to go into.
It is, and lucrative, and a very good chance of placement, and just generally taught by people who are very excited to, teach other people what they do. So it's a great program, absolutely.
Well, so I cut you off as you were talking about the programs. You talked about nursing and you talked about cybersecurity. What else is offered here?
We have a paralegal program here. A lot of people don't realize it, and one of the huge aspects of the paralegal program is that it's approved by the American Bar Association. And really fewer than 300 schools in the country, whether they're community colleges or state institutions or what have you, there's less than 300 schools in the country that have that prestigious credential. So because they're ABA approved, that speaks to employers in the hiring community. They like to know that their hiring a graduate has learned certain prescribed things that the ABA says a paralegal needs to know.
Well, that's great. So. Well, I know that's a great program. In the law firm, we've been involved. I know some of my team has been out here speaking to the students, and that's something that is there's a clear need, and I would think those folks would be have a pretty good opportunity in terms of job placement as well.
Oh, they really do. And I'll tell you what, with the legal field, as you know, a lot of times it's the associate attorneys, the new attorneys, that are hard to place, hard to get jobs, because law firms are moving toward paralegals as part of the legal team. The whole paradigm where there's a lawyer and a secretary is really changing, and so now you look at a lawyer and paralegals who are profit centers in their own right, where the paralegal can be billed out to clients, and that starts to become as lucrative to a law firm as having an associate attorney is, but at a lower cost. So paralegals come out. It's a very prestigious field to be in. They can make a very solid income. There's no shortage of jobs, in the legal field, whether they go into like a criminal law setting or where they go into civil types of cases. And so really that program, and we've got a former prosecutor teaching that program and some other practicing attorneys and who have that experience, and it's just a really exciting program as well.
All right, well, I want to make sure we keep track of what all is offered here because it's such an impressive lineup. So again, we've talked about the HVAC, we've talked about the paralegal, we've talked about the cybersecurity. I know you've got a nursing program here as well.
Yes.
What kind of things are taught in that?
Well, our nursing program is quite large. We have close to 500 students in the nursing program right now. Very prestigious programmatic accreditations there. Our ACE and accreditation of our ADN program is good through 2022. We got the maximum time frame because of the impressive nature of our nursing program. And we have a nursing simulation lab, which was quite a large investment and a great realistic real-world experience for students. You will be amazed by that. And our dental assisting program has an extensive lab. They come out in a relatively short amount of time as well with all the certifications they need, including radiology certification. They're extremely employable, and the investment in that lab is incredible as well for the environment of the students. And we've got a medical assisting program as well as a medical coding program here, which are allied health programs along with dental. They have their own programmatic labs as well. And so that's one thing you're going to see when you tour is whether it's the paralegal lab that looks like a law firm, a CSF lab that has all those IT gadgets.
Right.
They've made computer laptops inside pizza boxes. And our medical assisting program has a lab where students learn the practical hands-on things they need to know, like blood draws and so forth, so they can work in a medical office and just hit the ground running in that capacity as well. Our coding program, medical coding, allows students to learn how they get certified in ICD programming and coding that they will need to know in a doctor's office. And so they have a great ability to be placed upon graduation as well.
Well, the thing that amazes me, I mean, I knew some of this before we sat down to talk today, but is just the hands-on experience that the students here get. I mean, that's obviously part of the training, but am I right that what you really focus on is that they get the degree, but they've got a lot of hands-on experience, so they are employable when they go out and they can really hit the ground running in your terms once they get a job in their field.
Absolutely, and I think that's what stands us apart really is that we're not just doing book learning here. I mean, they will have to learn the theory behind all the things that they learn how to do, but across the board, no matter which program it is, they're going to learn the hands-on practical application that they'll need on the job here in addition to the book learning or the theory. So, and we try to adapt our programs based on the hiring needs of the community.
Well, I was going to ask, how is there a lot of liaison between what you do and the business community in terms of determining what the business needs are and then fashioning the training to deal with that?
I am so glad you asked that question. I just wanted to make sure that you were aware that we have very active advisory boards for each of our programs here. So if it's the CSF program, there are people that are practicing in the field that help advise the growth and direction of the program.
Oh, is that the cybersecurity?
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
and if it's nursing, we have nursing leaders guiding the direction of the programs as well. So we're always very careful to do that. And, you know, that's one of the critical things that we do here is we do clinical experiences and externship experiences so they can take what they've learned in the classroom and skills that they've learned and then apply them out in the field.
Well, I think that's so impressive because I hear a lot from the business community that they have trouble getting people with the requisite skills. And that's kind of the mantra you hear a lot. And it sounds like what you're doing here at Fortis is to really solve that problem. You're trying to get input from the business community. You fine-tune the training to meet those skills, and you're getting students to get out there that actually, again, can really start the job from day one with the skills they need.
Absolutely. And you know, if we cannot place them at the end, then we really haven't done our job. So more so than maybe some state types of institutions, we're being evaluated on our outcomes and our ability to place people in the fields that they've trained for. So we're being evaluated that way. Therefore, we make sure we, you know, cross the T's and dot the I's and really succeed in getting our students in the fields they chose.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit because that's something I wasn't aware you were doing. So a student coming here would, you know, obviously get great training, but it sounds like the college would then be actively involved in helping them get a job as well.
Absolutely. We have an extensive career services department. I think we have 8 to 10 people on staff currently right now that serves those needs for students, help them with resumes, help them with interview preparation, make sure that they review those soft skills that they've learned here in the program that they can apply out in the field, and then give them job leads and help them in their own job search to, you know, to get a position. Now, of course, no one can guarantee placement because it's going to be based on the economy and the student and a lot of different factors, but we'll do everything we can to help them get a job because their success truly is our success in that that regard.
Well, that's very impressive, because I think a lot of students, when they get out, I mean, they're, it's scary.
It is.
I mean, we all kind of remember what that was like. You've got a diploma, if you will, but which is nice to hang on your wall, but until you actually get a job with some income coming in, it doesn't really help you a lot.
Yeah, and I've really seen over the years, because I've been here, like I said, for 21 years, is I really do see students when they leave. We're in such a great setting here in Centerville, and then there's that moment where they know they have to leave us and then go out into the field. But because we have this career services department, we really can help them transition out to where they need to go. And and that's one of the things, again, from my long experience that I've had here. We used to be called Rhett's Tech Center here in Centerville, and back in 2010 we changed our name to Fortis, because we had been, in 2005 we had been bought by a company called Education Affiliates, and they wanted to make sure that all of the schools that they acquired, and they were very careful in who they acquired, which schools, because they wanted it to be very high quality. Once they acquired these schools, they wanted us to be under the same umbrella. So in 2010 we became Fortis College, and all of these wonderful qualities that we have here, right here, in Centerville, we still have them, and we just want to make sure that everyone is aware that we're the same institution and we're doing those same great things that we did when we were Rhett's.
Well, sometimes when a name changes, people think that everything has changed. And
Right.
it sounds like, what made Rhett's Tech so famous and so fantastic is all still here.
It's still here, with a couple added features of having kind of some extra resources that we can really use for students. And, I live in Centerville and I work in Centerville, and we employ over 100 people here on this campus. And so not only are we training people to go out into the community to work and become taxpayers and help with that tax base, but we're helping employ people here on our campus, both full-time and part-time. So we really know that we're an asset to the Centerville community, and we really appreciate all the different, just this program today, and getting to speak with you is just a wonderful advantage for being in a community like this.
Well, from Centerville's perspective, and we're just delighted to have you here. I mean, number one, the service you provide and the education you provide to the students is so important. I mean, it gives people the skills they need, as you say, to be out there and be economically independent, which is what everybody wants. And again, I just as mayor, I've always been so happy. The more I've learned about what's going on here, the more impressed I am.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Well, you're in such a great location. I mean, you're right here next to Cross Point Center with the restaurants there. So I imagine a lot of the students kind of take a break during courses or lunchtime to go eat at the facilities there. And you've got a beautiful setting here. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will wrap up here. I want to thank you for watching us on this month's edition of Centerville Business Today. This is Mayor Mark Kingseed saying take care and see you next month.